everybody, welcome back to the TrashRats podcast, and there are some new YouTube rules, which means bitch, shit, bitch, shit, shit, bitch, 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 shit, shit, shit. You guys see that? We're allowed to say that in the first 30 seconds now.
Really? No, I actually didn't. So you can cuss. Can you say things that they consider slurs that are derogatory?
No, just shit and bitch, they said you can now say in the first 30 seconds and still be monetized. So
oh, wow.
I think we're at 30 seconds now, though, so now you can say the N-word if you want.
But what about the F word? You can't say that in the first 30 seconds?
Well, we're beyond that point, so I guess get your fucks out now while you have them on the tip of your tongue.
I mean, really, you could just ask the Patreons to, double their contribution to make up for your daily slur allotage on the program.
Yeah, that should be a Patreon goal. If we hit $1,000 a month, we will open every episode saying every racial slur.
Pretty sure we'd get a strike, but I'd be down to just keep making more channels.
Sure.
You're dedicated to free speech, yeah, by any means necessary. I got to respect that, Rusty. You're always pushing boundaries for freedom, and I can respect that.
It's all for free speech. It's just fighting against the tyranny that's trying to shut us down. And wow, YouTube was right. They are dedicated towards free speech. Now they're allowing us to curse, or at least say a few words in the beginning of a podcast or a video in the first 30 seconds. You really can't say fuck, though. Like, I'm wondering how which words they allow you to say and which ones they don't right off the bat.
Well, you know what? I bet that would be a great idea for someone who needs to get on YouTube if they're trying to figure out their first idea for a channel. You should just upload some nice, wholesome videos until you get to 1,000 subscribers or whatever you need to get monetized, and then just go through and record yourself with like a 6-second, 7-second video saying one word in Wikipedia's catalog of curse words and slurs. And then you'll know. It was kind of like, remember there was that bot on Twitter that it was like every word ever, and it got to some certain particular words, and then it got banned. It would be kind of like that, and that information, you could probably sell that to some big commentary YouTuber for, $1,000 or something, and then they can make a video about it, and everybody wins. So I think it's a good idea.
Can you imagine the amount of work that would go into that? It would just be hours and hours and weeks and years of testing every word.
Yeah, and you know what? Einstein had to put a lot of hours and years into the theory of relativity, so sometimes some people have passions.
He stole Didn't Nerd City already do that?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Maybe someone... Well, no, but Nerd City did a video on the metadata. I think it was words that you can't use.
It was his most recent video. It came out 4 years ago.
But it really was there were people behind the scenes just testing multiple words through some weird shit. It was 10,000 words or something they had a list of.
Yeah, I go to his little Google Doc or his Excel sheet that he made, and every time I make a new video, I look up which words I cannot put in the title. Also, it just started severely thunderstorming outside, and I live in a tin can, so if you guys can hear that in the actual recording, I'm sorry, but it's very fucking windy. It's like I'm in a hurricane right now. What the fuck is going on? Right when we started the show.
A little ambiance from the Mumkey Jones microphone.
Yeah, thank God I was not out on a walk an hour in. I would have been blown away.
I'm hoping that my mic's not going to pick up my fan. I have my fan on full blast because my fucking AC broke, and I live in Florida, so it's I woke up and it was about 10 degrees hotter than I normally keep the house. Wasn't good to know. I was outside trying to fix the AC, trying to drain the drainage pipe, which may be clogged, but I don't have the proper tools to
maybe it's frozen.
Yeah, well, I mean that does sometimes.
Yeah,
I think an
usually
AC can kind of.
But what you could do is take all the shelves out of your fridge and just sleep in there.
Yeah, I might do that. Just dump all the food that we have stored away.
Put it in the freezer.
That's true. There is a mini fridge.
Put your ketchup in the freezer.
My AC, it fucking sucks. I'm glad it's actually starting to get into fall time, because in the summer, when the AC breaks in Florida, it's a fucking death trap. I've had it happen at my old house, and it'd be 99 degrees inside, just a sauna, and it's impossible to sleep. I had to sleep just completely naked with a a towel I would get soaking wet and throw in the freezer for a little bit, and then just drape it over me with a fan just blowing, fucking like I wish that you could still get those giant ice cubes like from the 20s, and then I could just have a fan blowing on it like old school ACs.
You just put a bucket in the freezer.
I have a special advantage that you guys wouldn't know about. See, there's one thing. When you're fat, everything you do, you walk up a single stair, you start sweating. You take a bite of food, you start sweating. So basically, you're either sweating, and then if you're hot, you can't really tell because you're already sweating. And if you if you get any kind of small air movement around you, it hits that sweat, and then you're cool. So basically, being a fat person, it's not all dying of heart disease at 35 years old. There are some benefits. So.
No, hey, it's interesting. What you described, I think, is the exact reason why we sweat in the first place. So I feel like your body's functioning just perfectly. You should be sweating all the time so that the air can cool you down.
It's probably because I'm just so athletic is probably what it really is. That's probably what's, because even though I'm large and in charge. So.
Well, yeah, your legs would have to be massively strong to carry all that girth around.
That's right.
But speaking of Eggy's athletic, sweaty body, I think, Rusty, you had some questions for him regarding the Wheel of Cursed Meals.
What were they?
You were so impressed by his performance that last week you were going to really dive deep and ask him about his experience.
Dude, my mind's been like fucking completely flipped since the last episode. My cat went missing. My dear cat. I've had her 13 years. So I've just been like spending every day like searching, putting up posters. I don't quite remember what my question was. But if you can remind me, I'm sure it might all come back.
Oh, I just remember you wanted to talk to Eggy about the video.
Oh, okay,
but on your cat, I'll say this. When I was staying at Rusty's for a week, and oftentimes I would wake up 4 or 5 hours before everybody else, because that's just how you do it down at the Rusty household. I spent a lot of good time with Carter Cat, and many times she came and sat right on my lap. Perfect stranger. That's a very good cat, and I hope she gets home safe real soon.
How did she get out of the house?
Well, she's an outside-inside cat.
Oh, so you know what it means when an outside cat goes missing, right?
What, they just rolled away and died?
No, I mean, she's on her way back.
Yeah, or they got hit by a car.
Well, yeah, I didn't see any dead cats in our neighborhood, and she almost always never gets close to a highway.
Do you live near any Chinese restaurants?
Yeah, there's a few in the area that, they said something about a break in the supply chain, and
you should.
I'm not really sure.
Desperate.
Ask them if you can put a poster up on their window.
I mean, that would really be the neighborly thing to do, to be honest.
Their clientele would assume that's an advertisement for the daily special.
So yeah, anyways, car's missing. Maybe an hour later, maybe she's just on some grand adventure. And
yeah, I think she's out and about. She'll probably come home with a giant fucking, what Rat King? Is that what they call him, with all the rats together? You know how cats will bring you presents and stuff? I think she's getting you a Rat King right now.
All their tails tied together?
Yeah, like molded over with shit.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering, speaking of shit, Eggy, you ate a ton of Play-Doh.
That's right.
Right. So how much did you eat again?
It was like I think it was like 3 ounces or something like that. It was like
that seems...
it was this little tub. It was probably about the radius of the tub from top to bottom was about as probably like the size of the average baseball, perhaps. So like that was about the size of the container. So yeah, the problem with the Play-Doh that I didn't realize, I thought it was going to be like eating mud or something, or like clay. That's what I was going into anticipating, but I guess it's actually it's like a flour and salt mixture is how they make that.
Yeah, it's really starchy.
Yeah, so it had so much salt in it that it actually made my tongue go numb after the fact for several hours.
That's probably one of those signs, like your body's natural sign telling you that you need to stop eating Play-Doh.
You know those
Rusty, you live on the coast.
Sea salt and vinegar chips?
Rusty, have you ever gotten actual seawater or ocean water in your mouth?
Yeah, it happens.
It's horrendously bad, and that's what it tasted like.
God damn, man. How was the shit?
I mean, it was really neither here nor there. You know, it was a little, it was a little more uncomfortable than usual. You know, there might have been a little bit of an aquamarine teal thing going on. But listen, you know, I'm not some kind of freak, so you know, I just handle that.
Please tell me it came out like pasta or like a weird squiggly spirals or all the other cool shapes you can, like a star shape.
No, well, the thing of it is, you know, I mean, if I tried to, maybe if I mixed it with mineral oil and tried to like swallow it whole, but I mean, really, I pretty much had the entire thing just dissolve in my mouth because just the concentration of salt. I had a couple like, you know, pea-sized bits that I tried to swallow whole, and like it was just so salty that when it hit my stomach, it was like immediate, intense discomfort. You know, even more so than just having it dissolve in my mouth. So really, even though that it was sort of an extended pain, an extended suffering on my taste buds, my tongue, and all of that, it was pretty much the only way that I was going to be able to keep everything down. Because if I tried that salt bomb hitting my stomach with everything that was already in there, that was playing with fire in terms of being able to, you know, keep it all down. So that's the way I went about it.
In the edited video of it, I made the artistic decision to show the full devouring, but I played most of the clips in like times 20, times 25 speed, so you can see the whole thing just really fast. Do you think I should post an uncut, unedited version of you eating the Play-Doh, like the full 45-minute endeavor? Do you think people would want to watch that?
Well, is it covered in the Patchy's fiance cut? Because
it is, but the Patchy's fiance cut has like 10 frames per second, and it's really dog shit. So maybe I should just post the HD version of me filming you for half an hour.
That's probably a good idea. I would say that you know, it'd probably help people fall asleep at nights. It's probably good for meditating.
I don't know about that. Yeah. I'll probably throw that up on my second channel if people want to watch.
It's probably good to have
Eggy versus Play-Doh.
Like, you know, when you're trying to have your baby fall asleep or whatever, you know, by the crib, just have like the baby monitor playing Eggy eats Play-Doh for 45 minutes. I think it'll really help soothe your children to sleep.
It'll inspire them.
Is that the worst thing you did in the Wheel of Cursed Meals?
Probably, yeah. I mean, the espresso, to be honest, for me, it was kind of easy because, you know, I drink like lethal amounts of caffeine on a regular basis. That's just how I get down. The pepper was pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie, you know. So that was kind of an intense one there. The Choco Mac was just really an unpleasant, you know, it was just kind of nasty.
It seemed like you enjoyed that one.
It was tolerable, but you know, it was sort of in the same way of like how the Play-Doh was. You kind of had to, you know, stand up straight and kind of puff your chest out a little bit because some of that flavor, if it kind of hits your stomach in the wrong way, it was a little nauseating in certain respects. But
the day after we recorded the wheel, I took Eggy to the Iowa State Fair, and I'm wondering which day of food was more hazardous to your health.
Well, the first thing we get to the fair, and there's the flaming hot Cheetos funnel cake, which was basically like orange dough covered in Cheeto dust, covered in nacho cheese. And to be honest, I mean, you know, it tasted like some kind of nacho dough, which was all right.
Yeah.
But I would say the way that it sat on my stomach was probably similar to how the flaming hot Choco Tuna Mac probably sat on my stomach. You know, although that it tasted better, it still kind of, it hit my stomach, and my stomach was like, what on earth is this?
Yeah, flaming hot funnel cake with nacho cheese drizzled on was probably not the best way to begin the 10-hour hot day at the fair in August in Iowa.
Now, is the flaming hot funnel cake, is that also, that's like one of the traditional recipes? I believe the Native Americans made that.
Well, actually,
based on the materials they had on the Trail of Tears.
I think so, because, you know, basically it's probably a high percentage of corn, and that nacho cheese, I think that's like milk solid combined with like oil or something. I don't know. I don't have the ingredients list in front of me, but that's some kind of like, you know, mutant goo. So to be honest, when you break it down, it's probably made of like, you know, aged milk derived concentrate and corn for like 95% of the ingredients. If you really break it down molecularly and scientifically and chemically and whatever else. So they probably probably ate on the ancestor of it. You know, they took a little bit of like wild root and ground it over some corn. That was like the original Flamin' Hot Cheeto, basically. You know.
And if I recall, a Native American tribesman saw Eggy eating it, and he said, "How?"
Fucking how?
That's all he said was how. And then he started putting his hand over his mouth over and over again, going, "Whoa!" And I was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah, I think I do remember
Get
that.
the fuck away from him. Just drinking to excess and laying in ditches.
Although I think
what about
probably
you, Reactor? What
else
kind
to
of
do?
garbage have you been eating lately?
I've only been eating meat.
Oh
Yeah?
yeah, or you're on the all meat diet?
You're
now?
on the history of humanity diet?
The Michaela Peterson diet.
Who's that?
Yeah. It's,
Jordan Peterson's daughter. She only eats lamb.
Oh, she
meat.
just sucks cock and swallows cum?
No,
would be nice.
she only eats lamb meat.
Oh,
But
okay.
I've been eating steak, just steak. It's actually
Wait,
healthier.
are you actually doing that, or
Yeah.
is this just one of your crazy gags?
You think
Yeah, it's
Reactor
actually
would
crazy.
lie on the internet?
Yeah.
I
For real.
don't think you would.
I stopped eating everything but meat. I eat like steak and hamburgers.
That's beyond keto.
Yeah, it's
Well, I mean,
it's
you're
carnivore.
eating, like you're just eating the hamburger part,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, no bread, no bun.
Now, how has your body been reacting to that?
I'm great. It's awesome.
You should
No,
try to
okay.
diversify your diet a bit. Put in some Play-Doh and see how that helps.
Yeah, the
It's
Play-Doh
mostly
diet.
salt, you know.
I've only been eating
Hey,
Play-Doh.
I don't know if this is old news or is this something anyone wants to talk about, but I still feel like the saga of VirginFest hasn't passed. It seemed like it was kind of big news in a lot of circuits that VirginFest. I don't even know the full story, but did it get shut down by Antifa?
Well, basically, in a way, yes. I should say the original venue got like threatened into, to where they said, hey, people said they're going to come and like attack the building if this happens. So we're not going to, like the actual like owner of the building was like having threats sent to them directly. They were like chilling at home or whatever. It all happened very spontaneously. But so basically that venue was like, yeah, so they're going to like attack our venue. So just, no, that's not happening here. Just get out of here.
So next year you're going to do it in Rusty's yard?
Well, we moved out. We basically, that's why I didn't have my stuff and everything like that. Cause we pretty much like within the span of maybe like 10 minutes, we were all like hopping into a variety of vehicles at the place and basically just grabbing what we, cause we didn't know what was going to happen. It was totally just, it was really all up in the air. So then we went to a park that was down
Well,
the
if
street.
we can backtrack a little bit, Eggy, just in case somebody doesn't know what we're talking about, what is VirginFest?
Well, basically, back in June, there was a girl who was like a fan of Negative XP. She was a tattoo artist, and she really liked his music. And she thought it would be fun because she had musicians from the area who had came and done little, yard parties and, little house parties and stuff that she'd organized. So she
Isn't a festival called VirginFest being organized by a woman kind of spitting in the face or in the spirit of the entire event?
well, perhaps, and I think,
Do we really want women to be going to VirginFest?
Well,
Stinking it up with their rancid pussies and giant tits?
I mean, well, the thing
I
of
heard
it
Negative
was
Negative XP has a girlfriend.
that they do say that. He said that it was actually his sister, but I'm not really sure how true that was. They didn't seem to bear much resemblance. But
He dates his own sister.
well, I mean, it is the South, right? But anyway,
Didn't stop Rusty.
so pretty much, the idea of it was really just like, Negative XP mainly, and then like some people that were sort of like, similar to him, just coming in basically because before they'd only had like maybe 20 or 30 people tops at these little yard parties or whatever. So they're like, oh, hey, you want to come over? We're going to have him and a couple of people. I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah, that sounds good. And then really the initial controversy of it was all of a sudden like thousands of people wanted to attend from all over the world. And it was like, whoa, this is
Shit.
this is like one yard or whatever. So that wasn't the reason why they decided to sell tickets. It was more of that they just wanted to get a general idea of, even they sold 100, they had 100 tickets for sale. And that was going to be like, I don't know if 100 people even showed up. I don't think they did. But it would have been like, I mean, literally, I don't know if there would have even been room to breathe if 100 people showed up in that backyard. It was like, it probably could fit like 20 or 30 people comfortably, I would say. And yeah, anyway. So there was probably some logistics
there. So you're
there.
saying VirginFest was very uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, the thing of it was, it's funny because, you know, the threats, obviously we didn't want that. That was a bad thing that happened. There was a lot of bad stuff that happened, but the fact that it ended up at this park was really probably a good thing because it was so much more open and way more space than we would have had, you know, and not even the full amount of people that we were expecting showed up. So it was like to have basically infinite space and it was still pretty packed versus, you know, this little backyard that was all fenced in with like, you know, double the potential people showing up. But anyway, so we went out there, everything went fine, you know, it was just a little gimped, is that the right word? You know, just because we didn't have all the stuff that we would have had, all the equipment we would have had, so people didn't do. But I mean, it was still like over 4 hours of performances. Everybody,
did you perform
performed
a cover of White Girls Fuck Dogs?
No, but I actually did perform the Raw Till 4 Thai Fruit Festival.
Oh shit! Send me a link to that. I gotta watch that.
That I can do.
So what? So like Antifa, how did they even find out about it? Because we mentioned it on the last pod. I think it was the last one. About, you know, I saw the Antifa Twitter post going around saying, you know, talking about VirginFest is going to happen. I don't know if they had any call to action in their tweet, but it seemed like they were just trying to spout out there that a bunch of alt-right school shooter loving blah blah blah.
That's
people
right.
are going to be trying to have fun. That's right. So, but I didn't know if it just ended there, just on Twitter, like them just calling bullshit or like just trying to attack you there.
I mean, I actually, as far as I know, I never received any. It was like all on negative XP because I really, if you ask me, I don't know because I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know all the specifics. I only know what I saw at the time and then some things I heard afterwards. But pretty much just because negative XP had made the Scott Pilgrim song, which basically like totally eradicated, you know, a particular type of, you know, e-girl, if you will. You know, really, they had like a very particularly uniquely strong dislike of him for like stuff like that. So I mean, I never heard anything. I had maybe one or two like messages of like, you suck, like in that I said, but pretty much I was completely unaffected by it. I got my percentage of the ticket sales, you know, proceeds that were, you know, allotted to me. So, I mean, I got paid. Sure. I rocked out. I got totally blitzed, you know, so like I really suffered nothing. But the woman who organized it, she had lost her job because they were like organizing like mobs around her job and saying like, get this terrorist out of here. And then I think they were like,
Wait,
trying
so
to.
They did actually show up, and some Antifa people actually showed up, went to the tattoo shop where the VirginFest was originally supposed to be held, and were protesting and trying to get the organizer fired.
That is correct, yes. But here's the thing, is because the threats came in like an hour before we were gonna start having people come in, right? So it was just in this particular time frame where we lost that venue. But then we just told people, all right, go to the park down the street instead, and boom, boom, boom. So if this had happened like a week ahead of time, I think it would have been a whole different story. There probably would have been some people actually showed up. There probably would have been maybe some type of conflict just beyond this. But the thing of it was, what really happened was like 2 or 3 people in the area came down to like hoot and holler at the time. There's like a video out there where like a couple people came and like hoot and hollered, and then they just leave. So nothing really happened at the time, but then pretty much like a day or two goes by and, you know, like I left because I don't live there. You know, I went back to where I was going, and, you know, other musicians were trapped that came in from out of state. People who were there to see the show came in from out of state. So a lot of people go back to what they're doing, but the woman who organized it lives right there. So then she had a continued, you know, protests and such against her. by the people in the area for some time afterward, which then she did get fired from her job. And she still was receiving many threats. People were saying, like, I'm going to find you. Would, like, if they saw her out in public, they were going to attack her, things like that.
Hey, you know what? Lesson learned. Women need to know their place, and it is not organizing a VirginFest. We know damn well she's not no damn virgin, and I thought it was disrespectful that she would even invite these men and make them pay money to see a show like this. She's taking advantage of a culture that she cannot relate to. And I don't want Antifa to be, berating her in the street, but maybe she'll think twice before she tries to infringe on our domain. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I don't know, man. This is really fucked up. It makes me. What seems so fucky about it is that they fired her. They were complacent in the organization of the event.
Like a very controversial event at her place of work. Probably don't do that.
What, without permission?
Well, like I said, it's just I'm just removed from it a little bit, so it's hard for me to have all the specifics of. I just know that she had musicians come there before. She had people come to that place before, and there was like an area out back behind the building that was conducive to having some people back there. But yeah, I mean, it's just hard for me to know. I don't really know like her history, you know what I mean? Like, because that's the thing of it too. Right. She might have some kind of because I remember like after the fact, she was like, I'm apolitical. She's like, I don't mind far left. I don't mind people who make some edgy jokes. She's like, I don't mind. I'm just kind of but I don't know what her history is. I know she lived in Atlanta and Los Angeles and all these different places, and she had been around a lot of like, she had a decent sized following on social media. Around a lot of underground anarchist punk type people, so maybe that could have been part of it too, that she had connections to a lot of people that would have had a particularly strong likelihood to get some kind of page chatting in their ear and saying, oh, don't you know she's bad, and then really listen to what the page says versus what she had to say. So it's
what
just
a fucking cool business. A nice, cool tattoo shop. Oh, this person has alternative friends that might have fringe opinions about politics. Get rid of her. Oh, no. Antifa's going to attack us. Fire her. Like, unless she did something... Right, there might be details you don't know, but it's like, what the fuck? They just... Who gives a fuck who she knew? It's like the actual thing, the event itself... wasn't fucking that crazy. It doesn't even dictate anyone showing up to protest in the first place, let alone someone who ever organized it getting fired from their job just for the backlash that eventually came.
Yeah,
I would say if I work at McDonald's and I plan a huge party in the parking lot and there's like people shirtless, screaming, doing blow, and like all these drugs and shit. Oh, and a tattoo shop can't be a corporation. It's a place of business. She doesn't own it. Maybe she should plan it at her own place that she owns.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So, I mean, that would be my question is like, if you did this without the permission of the owners of the tattoo shop, sure, yeah, you'd fire any employee who decides to have a music festival at your place of business without, any sort of authority confirming that's okay. But if if this was all run by them and say, yeah, we're planning this thing, cool, hey, that's all cool, and then retrospectively, some fucking Antifa. I don't want to call them any slurs or anything, but these motherfuckers protest it and then they fire the organizer. That doesn't seem
if they
fair.
Backtracked on it, then I'm on her side. But ultimately, if you're going to charge money for admission, maybe just go get a real venue and spend money on it and be authentic about it. Don't fucking just do it in the backyard. If it's in the backyard, it should be free.
Well, the thing of it is, at the end of the day, because, originally it was set up that, there was tickets being checked at the door, but when we all went to the park, they were just like, we still got, listen, everybody still should have paid because some of that money went to me, therefore, you absolutely should
That's
pay.
right.
But, I think some people ended up showing up that they didn't, need to. Well, obviously there was some detractors there that I'm sure, if I didn't buy tickets, but...
Can you tell the story of the black police officer who was partying with you in that photo?
Oh, yeah. So basically, by that point in time, I was certainly loaded on a variety of substances, so I didn't quite grasp the what was really happening at first. But from my understanding, you had prior to them showing up, you had a few detractors who had showed up in person, and that didn't really work out. So those anarchists who want to defund the police went ahead and called the police and told them to, kick us out of the park because, it was disturbing the peace to have people playing music in the park. So the police showed up and, somebody was like playing guitar and they're like, wow, that's groovy. That's rock and roll, brother. And then they basically started like dancing along to the music, like waving their flashlights around like they were lighters. And then they were like, basically, people who were significantly more sober than I was pretty much told me, yeah, we're just down here having a little, it's like a hippie love fest. We're just kind of on our hippie stuff, just playing some guitar and celebrating Mother Earth. And they're like, right on. And then they pretty much just left after that. And, so there was really nothing at the event other than that, the venue or the, person told us, we couldn't do that at the original location. Beyond that, everything was pretty smooth and enjoyable. I mean, the weather was nice. The location was nice. It really was all a good time. It just kind of was some after the fact fallout. Which is why I'm saying VirginFest 2022 should be organized by us in Rusty's backyard. He cannot kick us out, and a very strict no women allowed rule. That's the essence of what a VirginFest should be. I completely
this
agree.
Would be great. Having my backyard, first off, having my address not only exposed to Antifa, but also to potentially hundreds of incels.
That's right.
And I'll just have to move after that.
That's fine.
But, there's a lot of backyards.
If we charge enough, you could just buy a new house.
That's right. Yeah, the $5,000 VIP package.
$20,000 for a standard ticket.
Just downgrade, and I'm just living in a...
I'll charge you $10,000. You can sleep on the floor and listen to me snore for an extra ASMR experience.
We could do it at a reactor in Tim's place.
Well, actually, I did receive...
You think Reactor fell asleep?
I received a message after the whole thing from Dick Masterson, and he told me, Eggy, I have a lot of experience in, in working with venues that won't fold under pressure from random callers, as long as you're selling tickets.
Yeah,
so
Dick's been doing those Road Rage live shows on tour, and fucking Maddox will keep calling all the venues and trying to say, oh, they're Nazis, you gotta cancel them. So, yeah, he would be the guy to go to find the uncucked venues.
But
there's probably a few in Florida. I mean, even if it's like the same type of venue that the Road Rage event was that we both went to.
Yeah, we could go to that. Maybe we could go host it at that strip club we went to.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So Rusty's backyard is off the table.
Well,
we're still in the negotiation phase, the logistics.
I guess technically the 4th of July party was a bit of a virgin fest if you think about it.
You can just name it something like the Fighting Racism and Nazis Fest.
Actually, it's funny because when you mentioned that, after the immediate post fallout was there was some communists who were basically messaging the organizer of the VirginFest. They're telling her, they're like, well, you know what? Maybe we could forgive you if you host a fundraising concert for disabled bodies of trans queer color in the area and give 100% of the proceeds to charity. And I told her at the time, I'm like, you should do that. You should just invite all of us back to play it again, play the exact same concert and just call it that, and see how they react to it.
Well, considering that you got paid, some of the proceeds did go to a disabled person.
Right.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. You want a bunch of disabled queers? All right, cool. Let's get the old lineup.
The idea, though, is to get them to protest an anti-racism festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. They'll show back up, and now they're protesting the anti-racist, disabled queer positivity fest.
That's why we throw that party at the Tim Pool compound, so when Antifa shows up, they can hold signs that say "Pool's closed."
That's right.
I saw I wish I had retweeted it, but I didn't. It was some article that came out today. I think it was a Dollar General, but they titled their article, "The Buck is Broken. How this saving tip," or something like that. They're talking about I don't know.
It's an inflation story.
Your bank. Yeah, right, exactly. But all the response to it were just of Tariq Nasheed and a bunch of slave owners.
Yeah, is that Dollar Tree is now going to start offering things that are more expensive than $1, and people were freaking out about that?
That's because
I'm not
there's
really
not
sure
much
what the article was.
Not much is worth less than $1 now.
Yeah.
I don't know how they sell any of that shit.
Wall
for
Street just had
$1.
Wall Street just had their worst month, or one of their worst months ever.
Good.
Not yet. Not good yet. Wait till I'm completely out of the market. Then, then everything can go to shit.
You don't have
in,
anything in Dogecoin anymore?
No, I still do it, but I'm getting close to selling off.
No.
even though I'm at a
Don't
loss.
sell it,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
It's
you
at
hold
20
it.
cents. Don't fucking sell. What'd you buy
I need
in
money,
it?
man. I don't fucking know.
Dude, if it's in the red, don't sell it. It's going to be at 30 cents by the end of the year.
If you own a toaster store and you buy a bunch of toasters for $50 each, and then they become worth $30, so you sell them, you're a retard.
Yeah, I
but if you-
literally
I need
am
the
a
money.
retard, and I've made four-figure amounts with Dogecoin. If I can make money
Yeah.
with that stupid shit, anybody can.
Well,
I mean,
you know
what?
The
I
money
can
until you
confirm this
sell.
because, as I recall, I was literally riding in the passenger seats or maybe the back seats of Jimmy's vehicle, and all of a sudden his phone began to have an alarm go off because his cell marker had been reached, and there was just giant green dollar signs just bing, 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 bing.
Yeah,
So,
that was a good day.
Wait, what did you do? You had already sold out, like you bought in, made your cash, got out?
Oh, yeah. My thing is I buy low and I sell high, and thankfully Dogecoin is constantly going up and down, so you can just keep doing that over and over again.
Yeah, no, I mean it
But
is. I kind of think though.
it's going to get a
I'm
lot of
just waiting
publicity
to at
when
least-
Elon makes that moon rocket.
You think so?
Definitely.
You think Elon's?
It's going to
Well,
trend.
did you
Elon's
guys
a
see
good
that-
publicity.
China has banned all crypto, and I think that's why the market has crashed so
Yeah, it
hard,
is.
because most of the crypto farming was over in China.
But what China does is they manipulate the rules. They'll ban crypto, and then the price drops, and then they scoop a bunch up, and then they allow crypto again.
They're
So
just
now
gonna
is actually a
have-
really good time to jump in.
Well, only their
Yeah, so it's just
government
constant
employees can buy it,
articles.
I imagine.
I just want to remind everybody that Bitcoin, what was it, last March when it hit that crash? $3,500 for a Bitcoin last year.
Yeah.
Now it's like $40,000, and it's just going up more and more every day. So
It's always going to go up.
just think about it.
You just can't look at
Well-
it on a small time scale. You can't be like, this week it moved X. You look at it every year, it goes up. It
Yeah.
always
Well, I
goes
mean, I-
up.
I know
but
that.
it does
I'm
go down
saying
sometimes.
I need to sell off some assets to have some liquid cash flow that I can
Didn't
use
you just
for-
buy an $8,000 piano?
No, it wasn't that much. But
Oh.
now, guess what? Central air conditioning appears to not be working in my home, and these are
Oh, that's pretty cheap,
very
right?
expensive. Fuck no.
You can buy an ice cube. You buy a bag of ice for like $2.
I'm just gonna I could spend $20,000 fixing my AC, or I'll just continuously probably just steal the fucking bags of ice from out in front of the gas
Hey,
stations.
Yeah.
just go buy a dehumidifier.
Dehumidifiers
For all of
make
Florida?
the room hot.
No, they make the room cold.
No, they use cold to condense the water vapor, and then they exhume hot air.
But if there's no water vapor in the air, your sweat will cool you off easily.
Okay, straw poll, vote in the description. Do dehumidifiers make it hot or cold?
I mean, from every time I've used a dehumidifier, it definitely raises the temperature of the room it's in.
I'm ready for the new YouTube
boy.
series, Appliance Testers. We're going to see a dehumidifier versus
Okay.
humidifier.
What
Your
about the
humidifier definitely
Coolero?
makes it hotter.
No. Let me ask you this, Reactor.
Yeah, stick a Coolero in your window.
What happens when you cook something? When you cook food?
You
What
get
is
hungry.
actually happening?
When you cook food,
Yeah,
what happens?
right.
You eat it?
You're pulling water vapor out of it. Is one of the things that happens, and when you're pulling water vapor out,
So
of
like when I
something-
boil hot dogs, they lose moisture?
well, maybe boiling, maybe boiling is an exception.
I don't know if
Listen,
I want
don't
to take
fucking
cooking
know.
tips from Rusty. I've seen his fucking Twitter, and he burns every fucking. How do you? What is happening over there, Rusty? Every fucking day at 3 a.m, you post a picture of just dark black chicken wings that are burnt through all the way through. Do you just
No, not
do
all
you
the way
throw
through.
them in the oil and leave the room for hours at a time? What the fuck are you doing?
Of course, white people are gonna come at me because I cook with a little bit of soul, and I like what's called
You might be
blackened.
single-handedly the worst cook I've ever met in my whole life, judging just by the photos you're willing to share. I can only imagine what you say, oh, this is even too much for me, I'm throwing this out and not taking a photo of it. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, if you really want to know, it's the sauce. The sauce is a purple sauce, and when you put that and you broil it for a little bit, it causes it to look a lot darker and a lot more burnt than it is. But also sometimes I do get a little high and I forget, kind of overdo it a little bit. But listen, I don't want any wet fucking juicy chicken. That's how you get sick. It's all pink inside. Like, that's how you
Chicken
get-
tartare.
I want that meat to fall off the bone, not like sinewy tendons
Okay.
still intact.
All right, Rusty. Are you familiar with sous vide?
Yeah, that's all right. I'm a little prejudiced. That's probably the queerest way of cooking anything.
I'm just saying
But
that
I know it's
What's
the
sous
chicken
vide?
will be juicy. The chicken will have no off coloring, and it also won't have 3 inches of charcoal on the outside that you have to gnaw through first before you get to eat the remaining meat.
What
So
is
I'm
this
just-
cooking method? How do you do it?
So sous vide is basically cooking through water circulation. So you take your dish and you put it, you get a circulator. So it's like a water circulator that you attach to like a tub of water. I mean, when I say tub, it's not like a bathtub. It's like a standard, something that you could put on your kitchen counter, depending on what you're cooking. But you put it into, you vacuum seal the meats or the vegetables or whatever it is that you're looking to cook, and you put it into the container. You set your circulator to the particular temperature, and then it basically circulates the water inside the tub and brings the food to that exact temperature. And so it's perfectly cooked to the exact degree. And then you can just take it out of the sous vide machine. And you could, if it's meat, you could throw it in a pan just to put some sear on it for a little color, a little crust or whatever. But then it's ready to go.
Yeah, let me explain this my way real quick, 'cause that was good. So you essentially get, like, say you have a steak. Now you could just throw it on a hot cast iron pan with some butter and some garlic, and get a nice golden brown sear on both sides. Throw it in the oven for a little bit until it's perfectly cooked in the middle. Or you can take that beautiful piece of meat, shrink wrap it in a bag, throw it in a pot of boiling water, sous vide it, take it out, and it's just gray matter that's, apparently perfectly cooked, but it's just this gray mush. It's like fucking dystopian way of cooking. And if you want to make it look and taste appetizing, you still have to put it back on the stove.
Okay,
Yeah, that
well,
seems
listen,
like a waste of time.
But to your own admission, you said, or you put it on the stove first, get the sear, and then you put it in the oven. Now, if you're going to make, like, let's say, rib sous vide, you generally will give them a little bit of smoke or a little bit of color first before you put them in the bag. The thing is that if you get the sear on the meat before you put it in the sous vide bag, the sous vide process intensifies that sear flavor. So it's something you have to know if you do it that way. I mean, but it's perfectly the way you put it. But we're talking about steak here too. I think steak is a little more variable than chicken. But you could do chicken the same way, as you were mentioning. We just don't know where the charcoal is coming from. But hey, you know what? If you got the right idea, you're working on reducing your chicken looking from Martian territory into something a little more chicken style. What? More power to you.
Can you elaborate on this purple sauce? What kind of sauce is purple?
It's that hot one shit, like the
blueberry?
You brought it over. Yeah, the blueberry sauce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it just kind of makes everything dark.
Well, Reactor, you're a bit of a food scientist. Can you explain to the audience why you can healthily eat raw beef but not raw chicken?
Because the factory chicken farms where they have the chickens walking around in their feces, because chickens, every time they take a shit, they turn around and peck at it to make sure it's not food.
Yeah.
So they're very filthy animals.
Yeah,
they'll shit in their water, they'll shit in their food, and then they'll also, if another chicken shits, they'll check if that's food.
So you got to cook out the shit.
Yeah, so, yeah, basically. They're
Well, okay,
they're just disgusting, dirty
so-
animals.
So that's where also I don't know, it just doesn't taste whatever. Listen, yeah, I like my chicken a little bit on the well done side and full of carcinogens that can be scraped off the top with a
Well, you know, that's
metal file.
that's Southern style. That's blackened Cajun cooking, right? So that's they blacken the skin a little bit down there, Cajun style. So as a Yankee,
that's what I'm saying.
I suppose it is a bit out of my territory to criticize that good Southern cooking. It's something that I might not be so much familiar with. So I do give you fair game on that, my good sir.
Well, we just do things a little bit different down here. I'll post a picture
Of your
during
cooking?
this segment. yeah. Let me make a little marker real quick so I know what time.
Well,
This
do you guys
is-
want to
and then-
answer some patron questions now that we're at the end of the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. Do we have any?
I'm sure we have a whole bunch. Mumkey, why did you steal Rusty's cat? Well, like I said, it's a very good cat. She sat on my lap. If I recall, there was a video, like a documentary about me made by Emp Lemon and his girlfriend, and Rusty's cat Carter had the voice of a robot in that video. So there's a lot of reasons why somebody would want that cat.
It's one of these things where it's like I got these cat traps, you know, because it is strange that Carter would just leave the yard. She never does, and we've lived at this place for over a year now, and so she just up and left. So maybe she did go and crawl away, die, or she wanted to go on an adventure, and I never take her on adventures at this place because there's fucking coyotes and owls
Yeah.
just scrawling all around the place. So I got a cat trap, one of those like whatever humane traps, and we've been putting up posters and getting calls, you know, from people saying, well, I think I saw a black cat and it fit that description in this area. So we'd go to this person's house, set up a trap in the yard. I caught a raccoon the other day that just pissed all over.
Oh, just replace your cat with that.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, I'm not sure what the syndrome's called, but like, you know, like the mothers who their kid gets kidnapped and then they say, hey, we found your kid. And it's clearly not the same kid, but their brain just tricks them into thinking it is anyways.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Is that a real
They
thing?
made there's a movie called, I think it's The Changeling was about that with
Changelings
Oh,
are
that might
something
have been-
totally different. They're shapeshifters that impersonate your children.
no, but that's the concept of changeling. But it's like, yeah, I'm gonna catch, you know, a fucking possum and be like, Carter, you're home, and then just keep a possum
Do it.
in my house.
I think you just think that because since your AC went out, you're having it's like when you're crawling through the desert and you see the
He's
water,
delirious?
but it's
not
a
a
mirage.
It is a lot of very unfortunate
Maybe-
events all happening at once.
Maybe that's why your cat left, because it's too hot.
Well, if I can be
Yeah.
an emotional pussy for just one moment, and that's not a cat pun by saying pussy. I was telling Rusty, he's holding up way better than I would in the same situation. If one of my cats went missing or died or something, man, I don't know how much longer I would last. I would be so torn up. So I'm surprised Rusty is even able to come on this show.
I mean, I really, it's very distracting. I will say that.
Yeah.
I'm not really getting much work done because it's just a lot of going to humane shelters and whatnot.
Yeah, I would
And
rather.
How long has it been missing?
I've had Carter since I was 19, so about
No.
13 years now.
How long has he been missing?
Oh, what day is it? It's been
1
tomorrow
week
it'll
since
be
you looked
2
at me.
yeah. 2 weeks since an owl will ate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be 2 weeks.
D-
And whatever. Fucking like people, a lot of people don't give a shit like when your cat goes missing. Like,
What?
it's one of those things that's like, it's only personal because cats go missing all the time. And
I
Yeah,
mean,
they
that
do
just
their own
sounds
thing.
like,
You're like, who gives
complete
a shit?
sociopathy to me. I think anybody who's a pet owner would have to empathize with like their beloved
true.
fucking
No.
animal goes missing and you don't know what happened. There's no closure. Fuck
Cats
that.
are independent though, and they're smart enough to
Yeah,
like leave and
that's
come
true.
back. So it's like, okay, are they just off
Yeah,
doing their thing? Like maybe he met a lady cat.
Maybe she doesn't
Well,
like
it's-
you.
yeah, it's a female cat, and she's spayed. So I mean, but I guess being spayed doesn't mean that you can't still be looking for that good dick. So.
That's right.
Yeah, she's getting
She
wooed
might
by a
just be-
tomcat.
She's getting her buck broke down the road.
So I guess if you have seen Rusty's cat, shoot him a message on Twitter.
Oh, great.
I
I'll be
mean,
sure.
if you've seen,
Granted,
you have to see
actually,
the correct
hey.
one though.
Let's all meet up at Rusty's house and help him look for his cat.
I would. I genuinely would if I thought.
No,
it
I
would
mean,
help.
all of the fans in the area.
Yeah, we can
I
call
don't-
it VirginFest.
Yeah.
that's the thing too. It's like there's so many things that they're like, all the things. Oh, your cat's missing. Put like put like a litter box out in front of your house and like, old worn-in clothes that smell like you. So now it's like I got fucking my stinky, disgusting pants just hanging from trees all around the front of my house, and just old month-old cat litter that's just getting moldy because of the humidity. It seems a little bit futile. And then it's like if you go look for your cat, you can't call out for it, because if your cat if it's lost and it hears you calling out and you're not in the direction of your house and you're moving, then it's just going to get disoriented and then be further.
I like to pretend I have a
about-
cat when I'm like snooping through people's property.
Oh, yeah.
You don't say that you're looking
sneak
for
in their
it?
yard, and if they see me, I'm like, "Here, kitty, kitty."
Yeah, that's
have
like
you seen
the
Have you
people
seen
who
a
said,
green cat?
the people who said they spotted my cat. I'm like, oh, well, do you have like a Ring security door system by chance? And where are the cameras located? Just in case you can check it and we can see if that is my cat.
While I'm climbing in their window and they catch me, I'm like, I heard a cat inside. It's not mine by
I heard a
chance.
meow.
Yeah.
Well, Rusty, she was 13, like you said. That's pretty much elderly age for a cat.
No, they're like 25 years old.
Well,
Yeah, I thought it was like closer to like 22 or something.
Yeah.
according to Google, the average lifespan of a house cat is 8 to 10. So anything beyond 10, you're like counting your blessings, really. But if she does not turn up, do you think you'll start over with a new kitten?
Yeah, it'd have to be a kitten, because like I need to train it,
Yeah.
kind of train it, or at least get it. Like it's got to be on my feeding schedule.
Yeah.
and shit
Well,
like that.
also cats are pretty like sociopathic. So if you don't get them young, then they're just gonna not give a fuck about who you are. Like,
Well-
maybe I'll come back.
I adopted
Right.
a 9-year-old cat from the shelter last year, and she loves me as much as the one I've had since he was born. So I don't
She's
know
pretending.
about that.
She's just pretending.
Well, yeah, she wants food. She has to pretend to like me.
Yeah. You know what you should
you get-
do
And I guess.
when you find your cat? Get like a GPS collar or something.
Oh yeah, like that's one. I didn't really know what the fuck even microchipping is, but I'm not sure if microchipping means you can track.
No,
them, or
you
they
can't.
just-
When
Okay.
they get picked up or brought to a pound,
Right.
then they
Then
scan
they can,
it.
They can pull
yeah.
up the information.
Yeah, and it's got
I
your
see.
phone number.
That's what I thought. Yeah, no, it's this next one, or when Carter gets back, she'll hate me because there's gonna be a gigantic metal collar around her.
Yeah. or she'll be locked inside, maybe.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
We have another
All right.
question from Red Sante. What is the most unpopular opinion you have? That's a good one. Eggy, let's start with you.
Oh, there's so many. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Listen, though, the thing about me is that it depends on who you're asking. So I have an unpopular opinion. Some people, some people would think that some of my popular opinions might be unpopular. But let me just think off the top of my head. Well, here's
It's really
one.
hard to think of one.
I think I have a good one. I'm just I'm the kind of person where I don't think that it's a great idea to really, how would I say this? Derive strong beliefs just entirely off of what you find on the internet. I think that there's some people who just kind of like read one thing, or they get very one-dimensional just based on like what the particular thing that they're enjoying at that moment is.
You can call Reactor out. He's right here.
I was thinking about it because this can go for a lot of things, and I've talked about on my program before, how I think that sometimes people who are a bit, how would I say, not the most socially inclined, they might get some acceptance in certain parts of the internet, and it might really shape their personality to fit in with sort of what they perceive to be the most popular in whatever
Right.
group is accepting them. Because I just thought about this the other day because there was a guy in my chat who I hadn't seen before, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to, I'm atheist, but I'm going to decide what religion I want to be on. What's the most epic-based red-pilled religion?" So I'm like scrolling through Wikipedia to decide what religion I'm going to become, and then I'm going to like move to wherever it has like the most of those people. It's just something
What's
like
wrong
that.
with
I know
that?
it's
I
a
mean,
little bit extreme.
If all
but-
religions are a farce regardless in his mind, why not just pick the one that'll lead to the most exciting lifestyle? It's all made up anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it could be edgy. I see what you're saying though. Like people do just attach themselves to like something that's gonna get them accepted by the most amount of people in whatever community they want.
Well, yeah, look at our Discord
Like-
server. These fucking people don't belong anywhere. This is their only community.
Well, I do think that online you might get exposed to some viewpoints that you might not see in your day-to-day life that you could consider. They might, develop your thought process a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just think sometimes people just, there's nothing wrong with taking things easy and kind of easing yourself into something and not just totally like being impulsive. And coming from somebody with a history of gambling and a history of a lot of impulsive things, I think I might have a little bit of room to speak on that, as old as I am too, so that's something that I say, but they're like, well, I wouldn't be so epic and red-pilled if I didn't see this. And I'm like, okay, all right, as long as you're doing what you need to do to have a happy, healthy lifestyle in your day-to-day life once you log off too, you know what, the more power to you. But just don't get too wrapped up in sort of mistaking escapism as like a one-track path to the ultimate enlightenment or the ultimate happiness, without really developing yourself as a person along the way.
Well, I think mine kind of ties in with yours a little bit. I don't know if this is my most unpopular opinion, but I'm definitely a big fan of bullying, and I think if a little bit of bullying was accepted and like kind of like allow people to pick on each other just a bit, you can kind of get a lot of these bad traits out of people at a much younger age.
Oh yeah, have you heard the Trevor
socialize them
Moore
into-
song "If the Bullies Went Away"?
No.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
imagine
You would
he
agree
was
with every
predicting his
word.
future.
Like that's exactly what the song's about. We need to bring back
okay,
bullies so
yeah.
that people stop like thinking that they're
you know what? Here's an
trans
unpopular
vampire
opinion.
and shit.
I'm fucking glad Trevor Moore is dead because
Fuck you!
every time
fuck
I come up,
you!
every time I have an idea, it's like, oh, Trevor Moore thought of that already. It's like, oh,
yeah,
fucking
that's why
Christ.
we like him because he thinks like we do.
Yeah. My unpopular opinion is that there's a group of wealthy people who are manipulating society for their own personal gain.
Well, mine is that I'm glad Norm Macdonald died because Rusty likes him.
Yo.
Yeah, that was a shame too.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald dying, but if someone's gonna have cancer and then like not talk about it and then die after having lived a pretty good career, it's hard to be like super heartbroken about something like that.
He actually he
it's still
made a
sad.
joke. He made a joke about it was like a stand-up joke about people who find out they have cancer, like celebrities who like make it public, and then like he was like saying like they just want pity and they're like he was like making fun of them, and then he actually stood by his word and didn't tell anyone he had cancer.
Well, if you guys
While-
got
while
cancer, would
making
you
a ton of
tell?
cancer jokes.
Would you guys tweet out that you guys got diagnosed with cancer if you did?
You really have to fucking see this.
I mean,
Or would I?
Cancer's
I don't know
curable
yet.
very easily by taking dog medicine.
There was a comedian, the amazing Jonathan. He's kind of like a prop magician comedian. I gotta find this clip. There's no way I'll be able to find it.
All right, well,
first,
Rusty
but if I
looks
do,
that up.
I'll-
I have one other
Oh, yeah.
unpopular opinion I'd like to say. And the only reason why I found out this was unpopular is because I mentioned it in public, I think 2 months ago. And I had a man attempt to physically assault me in public after I just happened to mention it. I mean, yes, I had a couple drinks, but in any case, I said that all fat people should be locked into prison until they're not fat. Like, they should just be thrown into prison and forcibly made not fat anymore because they are just, they're taking up our aisles with these big scooters.
Now, how fat are we talking? Because I don't know. Doesn't this apply sort of to you?
Well, I even told him. I said, he got mad at this guy. He was yelling at me. I'm like, listen. I'll pay. Where's the handcuffs? I'll go right now. And then
lock me away, officer.
He still then began to throw his fist in the general direction of my face. But I mean, listen. All I'm saying is that I care about people's health. I'm a very nice, empathetic, so much love to give, and if you could forcibly take that substance that is hurting your loved one, away from them, and there was a legal avenue to just, basically put them in cuffs and throw them in a cell for like a good few weeks, and maybe hit them with a stick a couple times just to really drive it home that they should not be, living this lifestyle. I mean, they got boot camp, they got juvie for the young offenders. They go in there, they got those old cops that are like one day away from retirement they got that single tear streaming down their face, and they go, "Now, son, tell me you're not gonna go steal another jalopy again." "Oh, I'm gonna leave that life behind. I'm going in. I got a new job at the Ford plant, and I'm not gonna steal that jalopies anymore. I'm gonna make them." "That's right, son.
I'm not gonna steal that slushy machine ever again, officer. I swear."
People talk a lot of shit about communism. People talk a lot of shit about communism, but they don't have a lot of fat people.
True. Very healthy community.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, speaking of almost getting beat up in public for stating your opinion, Eggy, do you remember when we went to go see Boss Baby 2, some black guy tried to pick a fight with us because of something I said?
Actually, I'm not sure if I do remember. I mean, I know I remember going to see it, and I'd only had a couple drinks,
only
during the film, so...
We were in line to get concessions, and there was like a poster up for Space Jam 2, and I just made the offhand comment that the Space Jam 2 cannot live up to the original because LeBron James does not have as big of a cultural impact as Michael Jordan. And some black guy in front of us in line got really fucking upset that I said that and started yelling at us. And I guess he really cares about LeBron, even though that movie sucked dick.
Well, I was more under the impression it might have been the fact that I'd already been drinking and I was going to pay like $7 for a can of seltzer to consume while watching Boss Baby 2 in theaters.
And those mini corn dogs, you got those too.
Oh yeah, those are pretty good.
Rusty, did you find your link?
It seemed to me that the guy was more like, "Yo, bro, you tripping, man?" If a
black person speaks to me, I assume they're trying to fight.
I felt like it was more like in an Instagram roast kind of way, where he's like, "Damn, man, white boy, you be tripping, yo, LeBron."
Hey,
that's
turns
King
out,
James, dog.
the fate of history has proven me right, because Space Jam 1 is a far better film than Space Jam 2. And if I meet that guy again, I will tell that to his face. It's true. I was right.
Print out the Rotten Tomato average reviews.
That's right. No,
keep it in your wallet.
I think Space Jam 1 does not have better critical reviews, but I think spiritually it's a better film.
Okay, I mean that it should have better reviews personally, in my opinion. But
yeah,
yes, I agree. It's hard to have the same sort of cultural impact in our modern age of fast technology and all these things. It's like things just kind of are moving too fast to have those same impacts as often, I think. But
well, I couldn't find that clip. I'm trying to. I could have just remembered it incorrectly, but just back on the Norm Macdonald having cancer. I think it was the Amazing Jonathan. He was doing like a stage. He was in front of an audience and whatnot, and then he kind of like breaks down and he admits to the crowd that he's dying of heart failure. And people kind of laugh because they think it's part of his joke, and he's like, "No, it's not. I'm actually dying." And I just remember being like, "Oh, what are you doing this for?" Like, it just seems so fucking weird. Whatever. If I find the clip, I'll cut it down.
So you're saying if you got diagnosed with cancer, you would not tell anybody?
I don't think I'd make a big thing of it.
I think we all have enough of a sense of humor that we could just make it a joke and be like, "Yeah, guys, I'm going to die of cancer. I was born in July. I'm a cancer."
Actually,
I would tell everyone just so that when I cure it, they'll all think I'm cool.
When you beat it?
Yeah.
You
That's
can't
a
tell
pretty good
people
idea.
that you cured cancer, or you that you beat cancer, and then you're like, you never had cancer.
I did read that.
That's an even better
Butterfly
idea.
semen is the cure to cancer, is what I read.
No, it's actually
I guess it would be probably better to
mission.
tell everyone just so you could get some sort of like crowdfunding, because like Other than that,
Well,
it's
I
like,
wouldn't do it
shit,
for money.
man.
I would do it because it's funny. Like, yeah, after all the shit I've done, now I have cancer. Ain't that funny? Look at me.
All right. We're all gonna die of something.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
Didn't
called
iDubbbz-
fenbendazole.
Didn't iDubbbz have like a cancer scare, or was that just a joke?
oh, I have fucking no idea.
Like
He
8
probably
years
shaved
ago?
his eyebrows off.
Hey,
Well, that
so
was
so
for a Filthy Frank cake video, but I think he also actually had a scare.
hey, go look into this. Fenbendazole is actually a cure for cancer.
Which
Oh,
one?
okay. Allegedly, blah 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 blah.
It's called
Like,
Panicure. It's also called Panicure, but fenbendazole.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna go invest in their stock right now. You know, word money suckle.
Yeah.
I think it's Merck.
And
Yeah, I guess
before
so.
we move on, my unpopular opinion is that not all reality shows are trash. Even though most of the seasons tend to be pretty bad, I do think there is a lot of gold in shows like Survivor and I guess like Big Brother, even though lately they've kind of been on a downward spiral. But when people think of reality shows being trashy, I think they're thinking more of your The Bachelors and your Bachelorettes. And I've always been a strong proponent that Survivor is a genuinely, deep, complex game. So that's my unpopular opinion in this circle, I assume.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's gonna really kind of piss a lot of people off there.
You'd be surprised. I get roasted almost on a daily basis for liking these shows. And I made Eggy watch a few episodes while he was over. Eggy, what did you think of those programs?
Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to tell you. I mean, I don't really watch a lot of TV, so I'm not really sure where the, batting average is these days with these shows. I would assume that most of the programs are terrible, but I actually, I got a good kick out of these programs. I'm not going to lie. I mean, not only did we watch them, but then, we watch them, and then Jimmy, he goes on to the live recap podcast on YouTube that has 10,000 viewers, and you have all these people in this podcast that are and then he walked through the door, and then he went, and then they went to vote, and so we're all on the edge of our seats.
That's
I don't know. I mean, yeah, because we're watching that Survivor premiere, and I tell you, there were certainly some characters. They had some guy from the 1960s, time traveled. There was this guy named Ricardo. He was
He has a pregnant husband.
yeah, yes. I mean, I don't even. There was a lot of descriptors to this person's lifestyle, so I wouldn't even know exactly which square I would want. If I'm trying to describe the lifestyle they live, I'm at the elementary level. This is some PhD stuff, but you see some interesting characters, and you have the whole thing where you're watching. Well, even Big Brother, they actually. I hadn't watched this program, but it was explained to me, not even from Jimmy, but from browsing the Big Brother thread on the television discussion portion of 4chan, that they actually had a race war.
Yes.
On Big Brother.
Yeah.
They literally said and in fact, as I was there watching it, they found the guy who had the least amount of pure African blood, and they voted him out for being not a true African king.
They
on the
did vote
program.
out the lightest skinned guy. The 6 black people this season teamed up and voted out all the white people. And then when it was down to just the 6, they voted out the light skins first.
All right, you can never end racism.
It was so good.
I gotta say, I think it's about how you view the program. If you're just a passive digester, that's probably most people. They have these TV shows kind of playing in the background. But if you watch them from a particular angle, it's really all about perspective. And that's really life in general. It's all about perspective every day, how you approach it. So how you approach the program, I think, really can give you an additional sort of appreciation for how the program is put together. And I think reality TV has an extra variable there that allows for more enjoyment in that way, because scripted things are always going to be one way. You can say maybe reality TV is scripted, but you have one show, it's going to have one cast of characters, and it's, this guy's always this, this girl's always this. When you have a reality show, there's a little more room to sort of have your own take on it and have your own enjoyment for your own reasons.
I like my whatever the fat one is.
600-pound life.
Oh yeah.
I think of that more as. I mean, I think that's more of a documentary than a reality show, to be honest. Just from the way they film it.
I don't know if I told you all my theories. I think there's a lot of scripting and a lot of hired actors.
Well, it would have to be scripted, but just because it's scripted doesn't mean it's untrue. Because when I watch those shows,
weighs that much.
There's a lot of voiceover from like the fat person, and there's no fat person on earth who is that articulate and able to convey their thoughts that well. So obviously they're reading from a script, but that doesn't mean that the script is untrue.
Well, I mean, all right, I'm there was an episode where it was like it seemed like they just got the weirdest people and put them together, and it was like a I don't know, a 800-pound black lady, and she's got a white daughter, and she's married to a guy who's her daughter's age. Like just shit that you're like, what the fuck? They just got all these people, said, all right, let's rent out this. Well, I'm thinking Hoarders now. I'm getting the two mixed up, but I think Hoarders also is. They probably just get some really weird characters and then go and find a hoarding house and then just tell them what to say.
Well, when it comes to my 600-pound life, you can't really fake being 800 pounds. So it has
true.
to
I don't
be
think
real.
that they're faking that. Yeah, like that's like I don't care if maybe their life circumstances have a little bit of embellishments in there, but you can. That's not why I'm there. I'm there to watch them walk around with like a big tumorous thing
There to
on
watch
their leg.
them eat 2 large pizzas, a full thing of chicken wings. They'll skip the salad, go straight for the 8-liter soda. I love the scenes of them just eating their daily meal. It's so funny.
and kind of just completely forgetting that how much they ate.
Yeah.
Like, they just ate 14,000 calories today, and they're like, I don't know, I ate the recommendation you said. It's like, shit, I did drink 2 liters of a
just
chocolate
literally
milk.
a cement mixer. You can just like DoorDash like one of everything from the surrounding like 3-mile area. Just mash it all together with like a big paddle and put it into a cement mixer and just like slowly load it into their gullet at all hours of the day. That's just pretty much how they get down.
Have they done an episode when they go to a Chinese buffet? Because I would love to see one of these fat fucks just abuse a buffet's rules. And I want to see like the Chinese owner shaking his head, looking really disgruntled as this fat white person walks in.
Well,
that would be. They should do that. Well, do we have any more questions?
We
or should
do,
just
but
kinda
we're way
call
over
this?
time, so we can just save them for another episode.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to get I'll try to be around next week so we can record. I know I say this every week, and then like 2 weeks goes by. I'm getting close to finishing the comic. Like, I'm in the last few steps of like formatting all the pages to send out to the printers. So that's been taking up time, and then all this shit like AC breaking, having to whatever. I'm making excuses.
Well, if you want to help Rusty pay for his AC, you can go over to patreon.com/TrashRats, donate some money, join the Discord server, hang out with the local degenerates, and ask us a question that we will probably not answer.
For a long time.
I'll see if I can make some new merch too. Eggy, what's a good merch idea for Trash Rats?
Well, you know what you could do? You could have a trash can with 4 or 3 or 4. I mean, I'm not like a permanent member, so obviously you guys are a priority. But you could have like rats sticking out of the trash can with like caricatures of your faces on the rats. I think that would probably be pretty cool. Or maybe you could have a little poker table. You remember the dogs playing poker? You could have rats playing poker. So rats playing poker with your guys' heads drawn on the rat bodies.
Or just our faces.
All right, well, I think one of those two, that I like the poker one. I like the other one as well.
Eggy, what do you want to plug? What should people go check out from you?
I mean, basically, I'm just kind of chilling. So if you want to go subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's just Egg White. Recently reaching 13,000 subscribers.
That's
so
right.
pretty much I just go on there. I live stream, just hanging out, making music, listening to music, watching all kinds of interesting YouTube videos.
Loving
And
life,
of course,
living on fruit.
That's right. We live, laugh, love at all times. So if you love to live, laugh, love, make sure you stop by.
If you love to
fuck.
live, laugh, love. That is right.